All right, let's transition from the running into the coaching. I had a few coaches here on the podcast just because I like talking about personal development and mindset and everything related to that. How did you get into it? Where did the idea come from, and how does it work for you? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I'm actually not a coach, right? So the thing, what actually happened was I actually started a master's in coaching psychology, and I went to one lecture. Like, so I went through so many different rounds of, you know, interviews and written applications and all of these different things to be picked to get this position. And so I went into the first ever lecture. It was a 2-hour lecture, and I remember shutting down the laptop and just thinking, no, this isn't the path that I'm meant to be on, you know. Yeah. And I actually just emailed the head of the course and said, look, apologies for this, but I think it's better that I stop now, more so than after Christmas or something like that. And, you know, this was September, and give somebody a full shot, you know. So if you've got somebody on the waiting list, at the top of the waiting list, give them that position, because she'll make a better go of it than I will, or he will make a better go of it than I will, you know, because I'm not in it, you know. I wasn't in it, and I had felt like I do like theoretical learning, and I love reading books, but I'm very much in a frame of mind that I like to give myself my own direction on what knowledge I do take in. So I decided that I was going to be able to make my way through life in the way that I wanted to. And I had my stumbling block. So after I left the coaching masters, because I had been speaking. I had been doing speaking jobs up until that point, you know, before. So, and then obviously COVID hit, and it kind of changed things up a bit, you know, because I think everybody was in that position where they were like, I don't even know what the flip is going on here. So the last thing they were thinking about was getting somebody in to talk to the staff. And then they realized, okay, well, we might have a mental health crisis on our hands here. Yeah. And it just so happened that this year I made a promise to myself to give myself a work day. So I wasn't employed, I wasn't in college, and my savings were quickly running out. So I said, okay, I'm going to give myself a work day from 8:30 to 4:30 every day. If I finish a bit earlier, all gravy. If I want to start a bit earlier, all gravy. But I'm going to give myself a work day.
Yeah.
And that was to do with the podcast, with writing, with loads of different aspects of life. And so when I started to give myself that, it was as if I was telling the universe that I'm going to pave my own way. And then I started to get jobs. It was just, and I never advertised really. And I should start advertising more, because like I'm after getting quite a few jobs now at the moment, and it's been a very busy period for me. And I'm just like, okay, I had to take that initial step to say in that lecture, like really dig into my gut feeling and say, this isn't it. This isn't the way I'm going to go about it. I've mentored people, and what others would say is coaching, I may have done that as well. Mm-hmm. But what I really am trying to do is coach myself first. Coach myself to the point where I feel like I am so versatile and so, you know, adaptable and flexible in my own life. And that's what we're trying to be in our lives, is to be adaptable, flexible, to be able to give and take, to be able to move through life in a more flexible way. And so if I'm able to do that for myself, and I'm able to get to the point where I'm pushing, or I'm able to, you know, achieve these things, then we're going to have a good speaker at the end of it, you know, and he's going to be able to give, you know, impart his knowledge in the way that he sees. And so that's what I decided to go on, was I'm going to work on my own personal development first, and then a career will come from that. And I'm not departing, I'm not leaving the platform in the train station of the coaching train. It's something that I'm going to hold the door open for myself. But for the time being, it's very much like I'm living my life that's a very much introspective, leading back inward and back into myself, you know. And I feel like if I had gone down the coaching route, yes, there would have been an awful lot of personal development for me, but I think I would have been focusing on the client way more. And people are like, well, you're probably, you know, and I think that people would have been said, well, it's kind of natural that you're going to think about the client if you're a client orientated, business, you know. And so I said, well, that's not really the way it should be. You know, to be honest with you, if I'm going to be giving somebody advice, or I'm going to be talking to someone about their goals or coaching them on a way, you know, to get to where they want to go, I think I should probably be talking from a side of me that's, you know, that's genuine, you know, and that's like, that is okay with me and is okay with who I am and in my life and what I'm doing, you know, and go forward from there. Now, it's not a prerequisite. That was kind of something that I've just kind of, you know, decided myself, that I feel like I didn't have, and people would say I'm very experienced in it, with this whole speaking and things like that. But I just felt like I wanted more experience of me and who I am and in my own life before I started to do those things. And you know, I think that I definitely made the right choice back in September for sure, because by saying no to that more structured way of life, I've allowed myself to grow through uncertainty.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see the full version, go to the Uncle Gold Podcast YouTube channel or watch the next clip.